Hearn said it has always been his desire to bring the company stateside, but the timing, and the circumstance, needed to be right. Sitting in the Perform Group offices in Manhattan on Thursday, Hearn described the circumstances that finally brought him and Matchroom to the United States, with the announcement of a landmark $1 billion partnership deal that Hearn thinks will shake up the ring and the way boxing is consumed. It's a much bigger budget than HBO and Showtime possibly put together, Hearn, the group manager of Matchroom, said of the 8-year deal with Perform. It's a 9-figure, I've never said that before, annual budget for rights fees, which is huge. That shows our intent. Matchroom had been searching for a U.S. partner for some time, Hearn said, but had not found the right fit until now. There are a lot of things you need to make that a success, he said. You need a partner that's going to give you the volume of dates to give you a stable of fighters that is unprecedented, and obviously with this deal, to run 16 events across America, which is huge. The second thing you need is a lot of money, and not just to pay the fighters a lot of money, but to be aggressive with the shows, to make sure they're full of entertainment, nice and deep and stacked, which we've got of course, for Perform, and DAZN specifically. The opportunity to become involved in boxing in the United States presented a major opportunity. The reason boxing was immediately on our radar in the U.S. is because it brings in large numbers, said Simon Denyer, CEO of Perform Group. It brings in a lot of people. There are 10 million boxing fans in the U.S. that want to watch boxing regularly. But like Hearn, Denyer said improvements can be made to the presentation of the product, and the experience can be made much better for fight fans. It's very expensive, Denyer said. You start out with cable, and that's $150, $160 a month, then you've got to pay pay-per-view for a number of the events, and that can cost you up to $100. It's too expensive. We thought we can take the sport, we can stage a really good fight, and we could come up with a new model. That's also where DAZN comes in, making it the right opportunity to transition into the U.S. market. We needed something that DAZN could be the home of, and DAZN is going to be the home of boxing for many years, Denyer said. It's not just about these 16 fights that we're going to stage in the U.S. We're going to have 16 fights that Matchroom is already doing in the UK. We're also going to have a load of boxing from around the world. So get ready, we're going to launch DAZN in the US, it's going to be the home of boxing, and then gradually go around and load up on other sports in the US, Hearn said. Another crucial element to striking this deal was avoiding the shackles of an existing stakeholder, meaning events can be catered to fans. The key to this deal was to work with a platform that was forward-thinking for the fans, and that was important to us, because we are fans, Hearn said. And with this we have a blank canvas. We're not going in with an existing boxing broadcaster that is set in their ways. You know, don't like music in the venue, can't do this on the ring walk, if we want to come on air at 10 p.m. and show 2 fights. This is going to be built by the fans, for the fans. Boxing has seen a renaissance of sorts in the United Kingdom over the past 5 years, and Hearn said it's his intent to create that same atmosphere, and same success in the United States. That also includes building a stable of American fighters to fit the bill. For fighters, it's open season, Hearn said. Any fighter out there, any world-class fighter that doesn't have a promotional contract, that feels like they're not getting enough activity and wants to be promoted properly and wants to be involved in the big fights, we're here, and there's going to be a lot of interesting conversations going on over the next few weeks. The byproduct, a joint fight venture that could help elevate the profile of the sport in the United States, and change the way boxing is consumed. This is a dream scenario for us, Hearn said. We can build a formidable team of fighters and also put our stamp on events from production to talent to in-arena experience. Our plan is to make DAZN the home of boxing, and with 32 big fight nights already confirmed from the US and UK, we are nicely on our way. Hearn and Matchroom have found success with big-time fighters such as Anthony Joshua, who has helped drum up interest in boxing across the pond. In the United States, Hearn said this venture will help to cultivate new boxing talent, which Matchroom intends to begin doing immediately. Matchroom has dipped its toes in the water with Daniel Jacobs, but will now jump straight into the deep end with a full roster of American fighters. Our obligation is a little like cradle-to-grave mentality, where we're going to bring the young fighters through, the Olympians, the internationals, and build them, Hearn said. So we give them the profile, but more importantly, the experience of fighting on the big stage. We need to bring the existing world championships to the platform as well and the guys on the verge of shots. It's going to be a massive recruitment process over the next 2 or 3 months, and this really today is, Eddie Hearn's got such a big mouth, if we don't get this news out there, he's going to get it out there anyway, and that's where the financial backing will be key, Hearn said, not just to compensate the fighters, but also making sure they're getting enough opportunities to mature in the ring. Championship fighters need to box 3 times a year, and we can do that for these guys, but more importantly we can build from the ground the young fighters coming through, Hearn said. Young heavyweights need to box 8 times a year, not 3 or 4, with the resources committed both financially and creatively, Hearn said. The sky's the limit. This is a billion-dollar deal over 8 years. It's the biggest deal in boxing history, Hearn said. It's an honor and a privilege, and a big moment for our business. Disclaimer, Sporting News is one of the digital media brands operated by Perform Media, a division of Perform Group.